How do you talk about Indigenous people? There's so much to learn and understand about Indigenous people: culture, language, traditions, teachings, and so much more. If you're a non-Indigenous person, it might be a little intimidating to try to respectfully and accurately talk to Indigenous people. The fear of saying the wrong thing can keep us from trying at all. But those conversations are important, so today we're covering how to talk to Indigenous people. This video will share 3 important facts that will help you understand the basics about Indigenous people of Canada and how to talk to and about us in a correct and respectful way. So let's get started. Hi there, my name is Mallory Anishinabekwa from Tribal Trade Co. and welcome back to the Tribal Trade channel. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for new videos every week about smudging, the Indigenous culture, and Native teachings. So how do you talk to Indigenous people? That might sound like a silly question, but if you've ever worried about saying the wrong thing, not knowing enough about Indigenous people, or accidentally saying something disrespectful, then this video is for you. I'm going to be sharing the top 3 important facts you need to know about how to talk about and address Indigenous people. Bringing Indigenous topics, knowledge, teachings, and traditions to people of all kinds is what we do best. We're here to help you learn about the Indigenous culture, and that includes respectfully and accurately talking to Indigenous people. By the end of this video, I believe you'll feel much more confident about holding honest, respectful conversations with people from all backgrounds. Practicing empathy and getting to know people outside of yourself is all about knowledge. The more you know, the more respectfully, accurately, and responsibly you can engage with other people who have different cultures, backgrounds, and traditions from you. While it can sound a little daunting, there are a few really simple ways to get started, which we'll describe over the course of this video. The most important thing is to just stay open-minded, honest with yourself and others, and be willing to listen and learn. The first fact for understanding how to respectfully address Indigenous people is understand we all have different tribes or nations that we come from. Every single person has a different background and a different place that they call home. Indigenous people might be from either a specific nation or a specific tribe. These 2 words have important differences though. Nations are usually what we refer to when we mean an independent political territory. An Indigenous nation might encompass a larger expanse of territory that contains several tribes, whereas tribes are the smaller communities that nations are often composed of. Tribe refers to a group of Indigenous people, a community tied together by their ancestors, traditions, and customs. Multiple tribes can fall under the umbrella of one nation, which usually means they've interacted for generations and share common social, cultural, and spiritual customs and beliefs. Understanding the difference between these 2 terms will help you to better understand the background of the person you're engaging with. Not all Indigenous people come from the same place. Take the time to get to know each person's unique history. The second fact for understanding how to correctly talk about Indigenous people is to be mindful that not all Indigenous people prefer to be addressed in the same way. Because every Indigenous person comes from somewhere different, each person is going to have personal preferences about how they are addressed. What's respectful to one person might be offensive to another, so you can't use a blanket term to refer to all Indigenous people. Some people prefer to be referred to as Indigenous, others prefer the term Indian. Some people might even prefer to be referred to as the nation they're a part of, such as Anishinaabe or Mohawk or Cree. Each person is different, so it's important to take the time to get to know personal preferences and not assume that you can use the same term for every person. I know it feels awkward, but don't be afraid to just ask. I'm sure the person you are speaking with would be happy to share a little bit about their background and what term makes them feel the most at home. What are some ways that you try to be more mindful of the background and culture of the person that you're speaking with? Please feel free to share with us in the comments below. So now that we know a bit more about being aware of our differences in language and background, let's talk finally about the specifics of the different terms and what they actually mean. The third fact for understanding how to properly address Indigenous people is to understand the difference between the different terms, such as Native American, Indigenous, and other names. Terms like Native American, Indigenous are not necessarily interchangeable. Instead, we want to be as specific as possible. In Canada, there are 3 groups that make up Indigenous people: First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. These groups are determined by a variety of factors, including geography, ancestry, and cultural heritage. In general, if you're speaking about a specific community, then name it. If you're talking about a group of communities or a larger group of people, then it's okay to use a broader term. To find out more, we've included a link to a video in the description below that goes into even greater detail about the meaning of each of these terms. If you want to learn even more about how to respectfully and accurately talk to and about Indigenous people, we've got plenty of resources for you, as well as some of our other videos for more information about the Indigenous culture. The links are all below in the description. I hope that this video helps you feel a little more confident about talking to and about Indigenous people. Just remember, it's always just better to ask questions than to assume you know the right answer. If you keep these tips in mind, I know you'll be successful in respectfully and accurately discussing Indigenous people. For an even more in-depth exploration of Indigenous culture, check out our new course, Smudge Circle, which covers this topic and so much more in an inclusive, collaborative, and engaging environment. Come learn about Indigenous people with others who want to be more engaged, just like you. If you're wanting to learn and connect with other people just like you on Indigenous teachings and other cultural information, check out our Facebook group, and I will link that in the description below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.